curious here, and maybe this is going to be a little tricky to do, but if there's one word that you had to say to anybody who's looking to, dive into Google Ads, what word would that be for them?
Ooh, I've never been asked that question. That's a good question. Um, I would say caution.
Okay.
Caution because it's really easy to spend money with Google. Google makes
Yeah.
that very easy. It is very hard to make money off of that
Okay.
ad spend. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, be cautious.
Yeah. Makes sense. We'll be cautious. And I'm curious also, like for you, as you've gone this route as well, I'm just getting into a little bit of your own background. Because obviously, you seem like a pretty young guy being CEO of a company. You mentioned kind of how it was founded and stuff like that earlier. But for you, is this kind of what you envision, like for your future? Is this what you want to get into, or did it turn out that you just kind of one thing led to another?
It was a little more of a one thing led to another.
Yeah.
I enjoy communication, and the idea of, okay, what I can put out into the world, what impact can that have on people?
Yeah.
And I didn't initially plan for that B2B advertising, but turns out, hey, that advertising is all about communication. It's about sharing things in a powerful way, in a way that helps people solve problems that they have, fill needs that they have, and ultimately, on behalf of what's being advertised, create value for that business. And so, yeah, it's been really cool kind of getting into this world. And one of the very fun things about what I do is that I just get to work with so many different types of businesses.
Right.
I like to say sometimes every couple of days I find a new way to make money I didn't know existed. There's so many random business models out there, so many niches where I'm like, what? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Well, that makes sense. You're making money, and we can connect you to people. So it's a lot of fun just to see all the different businesses, see how the good ones operate, see how the bad ones operate, and then try to
Right.
learn from those things for my own
Yeah.
business and try to improve how I work with my team and how we run things here.
Nice. And then for you, or rather for the company now at this point, how are you guys attracting most of your customers at this point? Do they come through a specific channel?
It's a variety of channels. Yeah. So we do our own advertising. We like to say we eat our own dog food. So we do some of
Yeah.
our own advertising on Google and other platforms. Referrals, word of mouth from clients we have. There's some interesting areas where we've kind of built up some unique expertise. So we're kind of a leader in the space of Google Ads compliance, of helping people fix issues they may have run into
Yeah.
accidentally, because Google has very paranoid
Sure.
policy enforcement approaches to things. And so we get a lot of business from helping people fix those issues and then getting to work with them ongoing. So yeah,
Okay.
variety of methods,
Yeah.
and always looking for
Anybody who gets good at compliance is usually got work coming their way because nobody ever wants to do that. They just want to be like, just tell me how I'm compliant, and I'll head that
100%.
route. Interesting, but obviously, as you said, eating your own dog food in that way, is it actually a crowded market on Google to advertise for the support that you guys do, or is it actually not as crowded as one would think?
For this is actually another great example of where niching down can be helpful. So yeah, if
Okay.
you search for like best Google Ads agency or whatever, it's incredibly competitive.
Yeah.
There are literally tens of thousands of agencies out there, and
Hmm.
lots of them are trying to get business through Google Ads, and so it's very expensive there. But if you can then find some of those unique areas, like we mentioned, Google compliance, where we just have unique knowledge sets and experience and teams that most people don't,
Yeah.
then you can really stand out and say, hey, we can get a lot of business coming through here and kind of get those relationships started, because that's a gap that the vast majority of agencies aren't filling and aren't interested in filling.
Okay. Interesting. Um, are there questions we haven't asked you yet that you're like, oh, people really need to be careful of, or they really should do?
That's a great question. I think we covered a lot of the important ones, like what are those common mistakes. Yeah, I would just kind of re-emphasize what I said earlier about advertising not being a magic bullet, and about
Uh-huh.
how important it is to have other aspects of your business in a good place so that you can use advertising to put fuel on that fire. I think that's
Okay.
that's really important.
Makes sense. All right. Now the time travel question. If you could go back in time, and you've got, young John there, is there any particular advice you would give yourself?
I would say from maybe from the leadership side of things, I've gotten to work with a lot of people over the years, and it's not new to me, but the idea of hire fast or hire slow, fire fast
Yeah.
is incredibly important when you're building a team. There's certainly been situations where I love people, I want to see them be successful, I see opportunity
Right.
for them, but it just keeps dragging on, and it's not
Yeah.
right to the rest of your team to create these drags. And so it's really important, give people the chance to shine. Certainly, give them the training and support they need, but
Sure.
if it's not working out with them, it's
Yeah.
it's the best decision for them and for you to make that decision very quickly and part ways very quickly.
Yeah.